Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Newsgram. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to live your life like a Rolling Stone? Not Bob Dylan or Mick Jagger or Keith Richards for that matter. I'm talking about a true Rolling Stone, refusing to settle down, living your life with no ties to anyone or anything. One of my favorite examples is Jack Reacher, the character created by Lee Child. One thing you can count on is that by the end of his adventure, he'd be back on the road, traveling to another small town. Of course, Jack Reacher is a fictional character. But Nick Humphrey, now that's a real person.
Where I lived in the UK was anywhere I liked at the time I was living there. If I didn't like it, or we didn't like it, we moved.
Our connection wasn't the greatest, so I do apologize for that. And you should know that Nick's health is not what it used to be. But as he now looks back on his life, I think you'll be able to see that he has led a very colorful one. Nick Humphrey is the living embodiment of the bohemian lifestyle, and he makes no apologies for it. No regrets. In fact, he says it does have an impact on your relationships, but not in the way you might think.
Yeah, I've got friends now, and we've been mates for over 60 years. And I've got not friends, but people I've met, probably only for a couple of minutes, who said something to me that I've never forgotten.
By living his life this way, Nick has managed to find friends and relationships and memories to last him a lifetime. And while it was hard at first, his declining health was the nudge he needed to write down his experiences. And he's now sharing those stories with us in his new book, Explosion in a Paint Factory, an autobiography.
People used to say, I wonder what goes on inside your head. When I said it's an explosion in a paint factory.
He is quite a character, isn't he? Even the title was not what you were expecting. At least it wasn't what I was expecting. The world is full of eccentric and interesting people like Nick, and I hope they all write books to give us a chance to glimpse into their fascinating lives. If you saw Nick on the street, you would definitely remember him. Especially if he was wearing his fancy top hat. There's a picture of it on the cover of his book.
I've led a life that has been very bohemian. People said I spent my life looking for something, but I don't know what it is. And if I found it, I wouldn't recognize it.
Did you get that? People describe Nick as the kind of a man that spent his life searching for something that he wouldn't recognize even if he'd found it. A seeker. It's a very poetic life, and I'll bet he has seen some stuff.
Many bizarre things, many interesting things.
And they're all written down in his book, Explosion in a Paint Factory, that teaches the lesson. It's okay to live your life the best way you know how, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else. Explosion in a Paint Factory, an autobiography. Available wherever you like to buy books online, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, wherever, and there are links in the show's description. And that will do it for this edition of Newsgram from WebTalkRadio.com.